Okay, just before I start the lesson, yes, I do know this is a Beatles song, but I've basically transcribed exactly what St Vincent plays in the performance in the link in the description below. So if you want to learn how to play that pretty much note for note, then this is how you do it. But this isn't how the Beatles played it on their original records in the 60s. Okay, so to start off, she's playing this as the introduction. You're starting on the 3rd fret of the E string and hammering on to the 5th, sliding up to the 7th, 5th and 7th on the A string, 5th on the D, 7th and then 5th and 7th again on the A. Then you're playing double stops on the 7th fret, D and G, then adding a 9th fret on the G, then back to the first bit. Then on to the 5th on the low E, then moving up to the 7th, hammering onto the 9th on the E, doing the same on the A, then hitting the D, then moving back down again. Then back on the 3rd, and instead of hammering on, you're just going to slide from the 5th to the 7th, 5th on the A, then playing the 5th on the D, then 7, 5, 7 on the A again, double stops again, 5th on the E again, then doing this part, the hammer-ons up and down again, then finishing on an A power chord, which is 5th fret on the E and 7th on the A. That's how it should sound all together. The good thing about this song is that on the performance I've linked down below, she's playing it on her own with no drums or bass, so she's just keeping time to herself basically. So if you're trying to do a cover of it or something like that, you can change the pace to however fast or slow you want to play this. So after that introduction, she swaps the chords. So you're going to be playing that A power chord we just talked about, then move that shape up, and the actual full power chord shape, if you want to play full power chords, is we'll go back to the A, 5th on the E, 7th on the A, and also a 7th on the D. So slide that shape up to the 7th fret and then take off the finger that's on the E, because when she's playing these chords she lets the low E string, which is open, ring out. So you'll be playing like this. And you're just moving between those two chords. And once you've played them a few times, she moves down to this chord here, which is that same power chord shape we talked about here, moving down, so your index finger is on the 2nd fret of the E. Now sometimes when she's improvising on these power chords, she'll pull off with her index finger on the E string to give that sort of sound. Then after that you move back up to this power chord at the 7th fret, and you're going to keep your index finger on this time. Then you're playing a power chord shape with your index finger on the 3rd fret of the E string, going back up to the 7th fret, and then just playing an open E. At the end of each of these sort of sections, she'll do some kind of effect with her guitar, so she might start off on the E string on the 1st fret and slide all the way up as high as she can, and then playing some harmonics up here very quickly to get that sort of sound. and then she'll move back to the chords. But if you don't think you can do that and you want to keep this song kind of quieter when you're playing it, then you don't have to. I'm just pointing out what she's doing. So then you're back to the chords, moving back and forth. So after you've played that bit again, she'll then move into the chorus. So she'll start off on the E chord, playing it as a build-up to before she starts singing. Just sort of raking the strings with her pick up and down. Then she'll move back into the same sort of riff that we played for the introduction with a slight variation. So that's a third on the low E, sliding from a fifth to the seventh on the E, and then moving up to fifth on the A, seventh on the A sliding up to the ninth, then the double stops, back to the fifth on the low E, doing those hammer-ons, so that's seventh, ninth, third on the E again, fifth and then seventh, fifth on the A, fifth on the D, 7, 5, 7 on the A, double stops again, and then onto the 5 on the E, hammer on part, then finishing on the A. You let that ring for a little while, and there's a gap, and then she'll play this. So that's starting off on the 12th and sliding up to the 14th. Then you're doing that with your fourth finger, so when you slide up and you let the 14th ring, you then put your index finger back on the 12th and slide down to the 10th, so like this. Then you're playing 12th on the G string, but you're going to keep your index finger 10th on the B, and you're going to bend up with your ring finger. It sounds kind of discordant, but that's her style. So after that, you're going back into the verse pieces, which is just the power chords. Then you'll play that twice, then you'll go back to the chorus riff. When you get to this part, she'll slightly change the rhythm of her guitar playing because she's about to play the solo. So before you'll have been going, she kind of slows it down to half tempo, so you're just going to be going like this.